Hey, good evening. I know it's a little early, but that's all right. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Guerra. This is Let's Have a Chat. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about Walking Leader Wednesday. It's Wednesday, so that's right. We're going to read from the good book, The Walking Leader, my book. Pick it up, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you find good books. That's where you're going to find my book. So today we're going to talk about Chapter 10, Catch Them in the Act of Doing Something Right. Catch them in the act of doing something right. People will always surprise you. When you least expect it, they will go out and do something that will catch you completely without warning. Unfortunately, bad individuals or bad incidents sometimes force those employees who do something good. They forces them into the darkness, thus they are easily overlooked. In one case, it was a young, inexperienced, half-asleep Army private pulling guard duty who caught his commanding officer trying to sneak into a restricted area. The young private was in my squad, and as new privates usually do, they get the crappiest guard shift, the middle of the night shift. All of us knew there might be a problem with him possibly falling asleep on duty, as he had done so on more than one occasion during the day. However, as it turns out, this young infantryman, took his duty so seriously that he did not hesitate to capture someone who was trying to sneak into the ammo tent. During the attempt to capture the culprit, the two made such a ruckus that everyone thought the private had gotten himself into a fight with a Grüne pig. In Germany, we call them Grüne pigs. They're feral pigs. And after the dust had settled, he had captured our commanding officer. The commanding officer was so impressed with the private, especially considering that no one had come to his aid and during the scuffle, that he gave the soldier a 3-day pass. The rest of us got extra duty out in the field for not going to the aid of the guard, and also for just letting it happen. Oh, the commander certainly caught everyone doing something, and in this case, doing nothing. And well, that's what happens. So I'm not saying that you're going to get rewarded every time you get caught doing something right, but don't be afraid to catch them doing something right. You're out there walking around, call them out on it. Say, hey, good job. I see where you did this. Congratulations. Do that not just to your people, but when you're out there walking around, being visible, leading by walking around, managing by walking around, being the walking leader. Get out there and catch them. Now, don't go out there with the intent that you're going to catch them all do good, but expect that, because that's what they should be doing. That's what they should be doing. And especially not just your people, not just your staff, not just from your department, but from every department. Lending a hand when it's needed. Stepping in when someone is new or inexperienced or still learning the trade. And helping. Because that's how it becomes better. That's how we learn. That's how we teach others. That's how we make new leaders. When those people, that the last person you expected actually steps up and does something, keep your eye on that individual, because guess what? They might just become the next leader. And then again, it could be just a one-off situation. You'll never hear from them again, and that's it. No. But what I'm getting at is you never know. So you have to stay on it. You have to keep catching them doing good and recognize it. Make sure they recognize it. And if it's from somebody in a different department, don't just tell them, hey, good job, but also send an email to their supervisor saying, hey, look, I was walking around. I caught so-and-so doing this very, very good thing. Kudos for having such staff. Kudos to you for leading such a staff. So see, it grows and it escalates, because it goes to show that, hey, the leader is doing something right, that the manager is doing something right, that the department head is doing something right. And when that happens, well, everybody wins, and that's a good thing. Now, of course, there's going to be times you catch them doing something wrong. Call them on it. Don't think that, hey, that's it, that's the end of it, and overlook it or whatever. No. Call them on it, especially if it's safety, if it's a safety concern, if it's a safety issue, and make sure that you document what happened, because your interpretation and somebody else's interpretation of what happened might be 180 degrees, and they're going to come down on you for walking into their area and looking for trouble. No, you're not doing that. But if you see a problem and it's going to endanger life, limb, property, anything major like that, then by all means you have to step in. You have to step in and you have to address it immediately, because if no one else is doing it or no one else is calling on it, it does fall on you as a leader to step in and correct that action. But document what's going on. It's common sense. Don't just go in there half-cocked and then all of a sudden their supervisor, their department head, their manager, their division leader says, hey, who do you think you are walking into my area? And pulling that kind of nonsense. Explain what happened. Folks, you're out there, catch them doing something good. They're always doing something good. And like I said at the beginning, there's always going to be something bad, some dark cloud that's going to push the goods off to the side. And then they're just going to disappear because the bad takes precedent. And that's usually the way it is. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. So get out there, start walking around, start looking at people, start talking to them, start interacting, and most of all, catch them in the act of doing something good. Folks, my name's Dave Guerra. I know we're a little early tonight, but hey, sometimes we got to do what we got to do. Until tomorrow, have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you.